How's everyone doing today? This is JJ Domination, and we're back here with some NBA 2K18. This is not a Madden video because Madden 18 is dead. That's what the views have been showing me recently. It's dead. So it doesn't make sense to post it because the game is literally going to die in a couple of days. Because Madden 19, for the people who aren't that poppin' on YouTube, EA Plays thing that they do like a week before the pre-order. Yeah, I don't have that, so I get mine Tuesday, like the other regular human beings who pre-order their games. So that's gonna be fun, and expect a video that Tuesday. Literally expect a Madden 19 video that Tuesday. But this is about 2K, man. I don't want to talk about my lack of views. I don't want to talk about subscribers that say they're there but they're not. I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. I just want to talk to you guys about 2K. But don't forget to leave a like on this video for more 2K videos. Don't forget to leave some feedback, man, of some more stuff you want me to do on 2K and even in Madden. You know, sharing's caring. So just leave your feedback. Be considerate. Let's talk about this though. Okay, so one of these teams that I'm playing with, they're underrated. The other one, overrated. This video we're gonna be predicting the Eastern Conference. I'm just gonna go from 1 to 15. I don't want to start at 15 because that's kind of weird. So I'll just see who's like a leftover after we're done. Vegas has their odds. The ESPN analyst, his name's Kevin something. But he left out the Lakers in the West, which I think is kind of whack because I think with LeBron they're a playoff team. But we'll do a predicting the Western Conference video if you guys want it. So I'll save that for then. But for now, we're gonna predict the Eastern Conference. So, in my opinion, the Raptors are overrated. And I'm gonna explain why. Dwayne Casey, the Coach of the Year. I didn't know you can win Coach of the Year and lose your job at the same time. That's rough. I didn't even know that was a thing. Second year players win Rookie of the Year. Coaches who get fired win Coach of the Year. And guys who didn't even play as good as others win MVP. I didn't know that. What NBA is this? I didn't know you can win Coach of the Year and get fired. I didn't even know that was a thing. But enough about all that. The Raptors lose Dwayne Casey. The good thing that came out of them losing Dwayne Casey is, they hired someone in-house. They didn't go out and get some big free agent name, even though they were looking at Mike Budenholzer for a little bit. They didn't go out and get someone that wasn't in-house. They got somebody who has been close with the organization for a while. They basically promoted Nick Nurse, their assistant coach, I believe, to head coach. Good move by Toronto. I mean, keeping your guys in-house, that's what you want to do. We see a lot of organizations do this elsewhere, even in different sports, like Green Bay, when they were looking for a new GM. When they got rid of Ted Thompson, they just brought someone that was in-house. They didn't bother to look at big free agents. I mean, they could have got John Dorsey, but they didn't bother. They just stuck with the dudes in-house. And in basketball, it's common. I mean, when Kevin McHale got fired as the head coach with Houston, they just promoted like their assistant coach, and he was only there for a little bit. But I mean, that's just goes to show you that you can keep your guys in the house pretty much, which is good. That's what you want to do. So good move by Toronto. My concern is we haven't seen him coach a game. So yeah, you're an assistant coach. You get this, coach and learn how to do things, but we haven't seen him in action. So we don't know how he reacts to being down by 12 with 4 minutes left in the third. We don't see how he reacts in the final 2 minutes of a ball game. We don't see how he reacts down 4 with 30 seconds to go in the game. We don't know situational basketball with him yet because we haven't seen him in that type of situation where he has to actually do his job and coach. So it's going to be interesting. From that standpoint, I think they're overrated. You can't go from Dwayne Casey to Nick Nurse and expect the same results. You know what I mean? That just makes you insane. Because I think Vegas has them winning like 57 games, which is 2 less than what Dwayne Casey brought them. This team may only win like 51 to 3, which is still good, but they're not that much. I mean, they're not that much better with Nick Nurse. You know what I mean? So you just you gotta lower those expectations a bit. I think the Raptors are a solid 2 or 3 seed. I think Boston's gonna run away with the 1 seed. They got a lot of depth, and I know when guys come back, role players, their roles lessen. So like when Kyrie was out, Terry Rozier blossomed, for a bit until he had those bad shooting nights. But anyway, he blossomed for a bit, and when he did blossom, he was putting up some big performances. But now that Kyrie's back, that's just gonna make things, harder for Terry Rozier to really get those shots. You can't get those same shots with an all-star in the game, especially at the same position as you. And then you bring in Gordon Hayward. How are you going to balance out those small forward minutes? You got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Morris, Gordon Hayward. They all pretty much play small forward. I know Jaylen Brown's listed as a shooting guard, but he's like 6'8". He's a small forward, okay? So it's going to be hard to balance out all of that. Like, what to do at those positions? Like in terms of Brad Stevens, how is he going to manage the minutes for this team? I don't know, but I can go ahead and tell you I think they're going to be the number 1 seed. The 76ers, where do I see them being ranked? I'm going to give them the 2 seed. They were able to get the 3 seed last year. They had a deep bench. They obviously lost guys like Bellinelli and Ilyasova. And they just traded Timothy Luwalu-Cabarrot. It's not like he had a big role anyway, but it's a trade. A trade's a trade. They did bring in Wilson Chandler, and he's a good 3-and-D guy as well, so he'll be able to just come in off the bench. Markelle Fultz, the organization is saying he looks just as good as he was before the draft process, which that's always great. That's what you want to hear. Let's see here. They still got Ben Simmons. They still got Joel Embiid. They still got Saric. They still got J.J. Redick. They kept the core. They lost a couple of bench pieces, but they kept the core, and that's all that matters. It's just keeping the core. The 3 seed, I think Toronto is a lock for the 3 seed. They're just a good team, man. They're a good team. I think they're highly overrated because, you just lost the guy that won you the most amount of games in franchise history, and you think you're just supposed to have the same amount of success? Like, that's insane. No, you won't. Nick Nurse is not Dwayne Casey. We don't know what Nick Nurse is. We don't know who he is because he's never coached. The 4 seed for me, the Indiana Pacers. This is easy. If they were the 5 seed last year, they're definitely the 4 seed this year. Victor Oladipo, Tyreek Evans, Darren Collison, man, don't sleep on him. He played really good in the playoffs. Sabonis, Miles Turner, he just needs to get a little bit more physical, man. Hit the gym. Do what Giannis is doing right now. Just hit the damn gym. You got guys like Bojan Bogdanovic, or not Bogdan, but Bojan Bogdanovic, who can knock down the 3. You brought in Doug McBuckets. Hopefully we can see what he does. You have Kyle O'Quinn. You have a nice roster. So that's always good. Let's see here. The 5th seed. This is tough. I kind of have to think about the East and where I think teams can rank. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. I know they just lost Jabari and they got Brook Lopez, but they brought in Ilyasova, and the one thing I think they needed off the bench was shooting, other than Malcolm Brogdon. So it's good that they were able to bring that in because it's just important. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon's going to handle the basketball coming off the bench, but he needs guys to kick the ball out to. He can't do it all on his own, and I think bringing in a guy like Ilyasova who can knock down the 3, can take it to the rack sometimes, can get some free throws. I mean, that's important. You got to value shooting, especially coming off your bench, where a team like the Bucks could use help off the bench. Brook Lopez, like I said, coming over from the Lakers. They also have John Henson, who is more of a rebounding interior force type of dude, just without the shot blocking. And let's see here, what else? Obviously, they're going to have Giannis. They're going to have Eric Bledsoe. Chris Middleton, one of the 2 most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. Him and Tobias Harris. the two most underrated players in the league. Don't at me. It's just the truth. Accept it. Now 6, 7, and 8. This is tough, man. This is really tough. I gotta think of like the Eastern Conference teams, man, because I'm kind of doing this on the fly, you know. I'm gonna say 6. It's gonna be the Washington Wizards. The Wizards. I mean, they added Dwight Howard. I think he'll be able to contribute more than Marcin Gortat ever did. You have John Wall, Bradley Beal. If Otto Porter can be consistent for him, he's gonna be a huge scoring option for them, a huge third scoring option, because obviously you have Wall and Beal. They got guys like Kelly Oubre and Jeff Green coming off their bench. Thomas Satoransky. They have some decent bench players, decent role players as well, good veteran play. So we'll see how they do. I think they can be the 6th seed. They're a talented team. You know, I can't take away from what they do on the court. They're talented. Number 7 for me. This is tough. Once again, I have to think of all the teams out there. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. I feel like the Miami Heat are just one of those versatile teams out there. They're very resilient. They're tough. They play everybody tough, but they're not necessarily a good playoff team. Like, they just play their competition tough, and then once they get out there, they just get out there and do their thing. I think the 7th seed is good for them. They got tough players like James Johnson, Josh Richardson. They have Dion Waiters coming back, Hassan Whiteside as well, one of the best rim protectors in the game. And then for the final spot, the 8th seed, I'm going to give it to the Detroit Pistons, man. I think they'll do just enough to get over the hump. They have Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, Reggie Bullock, who lit it up for 3. Stanley Johnson, if he can just develop into a decent player, I think they'll be okay. Why not? Off the bench, they have guys like Luke Kennard, Ish Smith, I think this team will do just enough to make the playoffs. But that's it for the video. You know, just like it up, leave your feedback, and I'll be doing a Western Conference predictions video next. That'll be the next 2K video you see. I'm excited for Madden 19 as well, guys, so enjoy the video.